The challenge landed like a splash before I even hit the water. We were standing at the edge of a public pool just after sunset, the sky fading into bruised purples and gold. My boss, calm, confident, always 5 steps ahead, tied her hair back and smiled like this was all a joke. People laughed. Someone whistled. And then she said it, loud enough for everyone to hear. "If you beat me in a swim, I'll reward you with 1 night." The crowd erupted. My face burned. I wasn't embarrassed because of what people thought she meant, I was embarrassed because of what she thought I might want. I took a breath, looked at the water, then back at her. "I want more," I said. The laughter faded. Her smile froze. And in that quiet moment, everything changed. I didn't grow up around pools. Where I'm from, you learn to keep your head above water in life before you learn to do it in a lane. I taught myself to swim in college, squeezing in laps between 2 jobs and night classes. It wasn't talent, it was survival. Swimming was the one place where the noise stopped and effort made sense. My boss, Claire, knew none of that. To her, the pool was a game, a networking icebreaker, a place to flex confidence. She was respected, admired, and fair, but distant. The kind of leader who inspires from afar. This swim was her idea. A team bonding event. A dare. A spectacle. I could have refused. I could have laughed it off. But something in me was tired of being underestimated, tired of jokes that came with invisible ceilings. So when she raised an eyebrow and asked, "More than what?" I answered honestly. "More than a joke. More than a rumor. I want something that matters." Silence again. Then she nodded. "Deal," she said. "But first, earn it." The whistle blew. The water was cold, shocking my skin awake. We dove in at the same time, arms slicing, legs burning. Claire was fast, clean technique, steady breath. She wasn't bluffing. Halfway down the lane, I felt the familiar ache in my shoulders, the voice that always asks if this is where you quit. I remembered my mother's hands, rough from work, counting change at the kitchen table. I remembered my younger brother asking if things would ever get easier. I remembered every time I swallowed pride because I needed the paycheck. I didn't swim harder out of anger. I swam with gratitude, for the body that carried me, for the chances I'd been given, for the ones I hadn't wasted. At the turn, Claire faltered just a beat. I surged, not past her, but with her, matching pace, refusing to turn this into humiliation. We touched the wall together. A tie. The crowd groaned. Someone shouted for a rematch. Claire pushed her goggles up, breathing hard, eyes searching my face. "Well?" she asked. "What now?" I smiled. "Now we talk." We sat dripping on the pool's edge while the noise moved elsewhere. Under the lights, she looked less like my boss and more like a person, tired, human, surprised. "You said you wanted more," she said. "What does that mean?" I hesitated. Vulnerability is a risk, especially at work. But kindness, I've learned, often begins with truth. "I want mentorship," I said. "Real guidance. I want a chance to grow, not just grind. And I want us to stop turning ambition into a joke." She blinked. "That's not what I expected." "I know," I said softly. "That's kind of the point." She looked out at the water, then back at me. "You could have asked," she said. "I've been asking," I replied. Just not out loud. Something shifted in her expression, recognition, maybe regret. She nodded slowly. "Then here's my offer," she said. "1 night. Not like that. 1 night a week. We work late. We plan your path. I open doors. And when you're ready, you walk through them." It wasn't flashy. It wasn't gossip-worthy. It was better. Weeks passed. Then months. Those nights became a rhythm: coffee, whiteboards, tough questions. She challenged me. I challenged her back. We talked about leadership, about mistakes, about the cost of success when you forget people along the way. One night, she canceled. Then another. I worried I'd pushed too far. But when she returned, she looked different, quieter. "My sister's sick," she said, voice tight. I built my whole life around winning. I forgot how to ask for help. So I listened. No advice. No fixing. Just presence. That night, kindness changed direction. A year later, I stood at the same pool for a charity swim. New role. New responsibilities. Claire stood beside me, not as my boss, but as a partner, raising funds for community programs that taught kids to swim for free. Before the race, she leaned over and said, "You know, you never did take your reward." I smiled. I did. The whistle blew. We dove in, no crowd this time, no dares. Just purpose. And as I cut through the water, I realized something simple and powerful. Sometimes, more isn't about taking. It's about choosing growth over gossip, compassion over ego, and turning a challenge into a chance to lift someone else. I didn't win that first race. But I learned how to swim towards something that mattered. And that changed everything.